আচার্যা ঠাকুর যে আনিল প্রেমাধনা করুণা প্রচুর হে না প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্যা ঠাকুর কহ মোরা স্বরূপ রূপা কহ সনাতনা কহ মোরা স্বরূপ রূপা কহ সনাতনা কহ দাস রঘুনাথ পতিতা পাবনা কহ দাস রঘুনাথ পতিতা পাবনা কহ মোরা ভট্ট যুগা কহ কবিরাজ কহ মোরা ভট্ট যুগা কহ কবিরাজ এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নটরাজা এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নটরাজা এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নটরাজা পাষাণে কুটিব মাথা আনালে পাশিব পাষাণে কুটিব মাথা আনালে পাশিব গৌরাঙ্গের গুণে রানিধি কোথা গেলা পাব গৌরাঙ্গ গুণে রানিধি কোথা গেলে পাব সেসব সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সেসব সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস যে আনিল প্রেমাধনা করুণা প্রচুর যে আনিল प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर है ना प्रभु को था गेला आचार्य ठाकुर है ना प्रभु को था गेला आचार्य ठाकुर जे अनिल प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर जे अनिल प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर है न प्रभु को था गेला आचार्य ठाकुर है न प्रभु को था गेला आचार्य ठाकुर जय अनिल प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर है न प्रभु को था गेला आचार्य ठाकुर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय अनिल कृष्णा करुणा ब्रजो थना प्रभु कथा गेला आचार्य ठाकुर। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Bol. If you don't mind, can you read the meanings, translation?
Okay, Prabhu. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Advaita Acharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? Where is Krishna Das Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Bol. Very melodiously sung Kavita. So that was Kavita for you, Jay Anilo Prema Dhana. So this is sung by Narottam Das Thakur in Vipralamba Bhava after the departure of the six Goswamis and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from this planet. So as many of you might be already knowing, so today, little after afternoon, Indian time, one of the senior devotees of Sridham Mayapur, His Grace Pankajangri Das, who was one of the pujaris there and did so many other sevas from 1973. So just a little short of 50 years, and he left his body, and then he was dear to all the devotees of ISKCON Mayapur, and prayed to the lordships for millions and millions of devotees who came to Mayapur over the last 5 decades. So, based on the suggestion of Jagan Prabhu, so this Jay Anilo Premadana was a humble tribute from our program to this great soul. Hare Krishna. So what we are seeing now is the last darshan of Pankajangri Prabhu. Thank you once again, Kavita, for the very soulful singing and accepting the change at very short notice. Hare Krishna. So moving ahead, thank you once again and welcome to all for today's Ramadan 2021 program. So we are now getting into another new book, Matchless Gift. Today we have the fortune of listening to His Grace Jagat Bandhu Achyuta Das and Her Grace Bindu Madhavi Devi Dasi. Jagat Bandhu Prabhu and Bindu Madhavi Mataji are disciples of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. They are always ready to take up seva at last moment. Prabhu did a lot of sevas in Jayapataka Swami Maharaj when he came in 2019 to Damodar Desh Yatra. And during the lockdown, COVID lockdown, uh, Mataji made prasadam for the devotees who are affected in DIP camps. And then Prabhuji went and delivered it even when the lockdown was there, taking permission on the system and things like that. Mataji is involved in Balutsav classes and also Prasadam Seva, flower arrangement in Yatra programs and many other sevas. So let us welcome Jagat Prabhu and Bindu Madai Mataji with a Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhu and Mataji, you have been made as the co-host. So you can share your presentations. Over to you, Prabhu and Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mataji, are you able to share the presentation?
He is doing first, Prabhu, so he will be sharing it first.
Okay, okay.
I think so. He's still muted.
No, he is also Jagat Bandhu Achyutadas. He is also co-host. He can
Okay.
also share.
Okay, now he is unmuted. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, Babuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you can see my screen, I believe.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, it's clear.
So today is the day 18 of our Ramadan program. Books are the basis. Today we will be reviewing Krishna Consciousness, the Matchless Gift. This book was first printed in 1974 by Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. And the picture on the side is basically the cover page of the first edition. The beautiful picture of Krishna and Radha. It is a small book of 118 pages divided into 7 chapters. It's basically a collection of transcribed lectures by Srila Prabhupada on the philosophy and practice of Bhakti Yoga. Basically, the process of re-establishing our connection with the Supreme Person. This book contains many phases of the science of Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada is giving a lot of examples, stories, and analogies. One of the things which comes out of this particular book is that the Prabhupada's agility and his unmatched capability to bring the highest teachings of Veda in a very simple, understandable form to common people. In short, it is a very small book, light book, packed with heavy wisdom, which is available in small capsules. The word matchless gift is very special to Krishna, Hare Krishna or Krishna consciousness movement. In 1966, Srila Prabhupada acquired the storefront in New York City and began ISKCON from that particular store. This storefront was earlier a curiosity shop, which matchless gift was painted on the storefront. So this is a picture of that particular storefront actually. So the word matchless gift is already on that particular storefront and where the first Krishna conscious temple or the movement has been started in the world actually. One of the dear devotees of Srila Prabhupada, Krishnadas Prabhu, he has written the following sentence in Desire Tree. At that time, no one realized just how prophetic these words were. For it was there that this worldwide movement was started at the storefront called Matchless Gifts. The later editions of this book have the following description printed on the back side of the book. Let me read this particular thing. No money in the world can buy spiritual freedom. Yet it is the rarest most valuable and most sought after commodity, and it is equally available to the poor and the wealthy. Do you want this gift in your life? Here are the steps to achieve it, laid out one after another. Take one step at a time. You will find you have got the matchless gift, the permanent freedom from the material suffering. I'll read it out once again. No money in the world can buy spiritual freedom, yet it is the rarest, most valuable, and most sought after commodity. And it is equally available to the poor and the wealthy. Do you want this gift in your life? Here are the steps to achieve it, laid out one after another. Take one step at a time. You will find you have got the matchless gift, permanent freedom from material suffering. So out of the 7 chapters, I will be covering 3 chapters, and balance chapters will be covered by Mataji. The first chapter is the spiritual knowledge through Krishna. Prabhupada started this particular chapter with this following sentence: the aim of Krishna consciousness movement is to bring all living entities back to their original consciousness. The first paragraph of this particular book, Prabhupada has made very bold statements. The first time reader of a book or a neophyte kind of a devotee, it will hit him like a thunderbolt. He's written, all living entities are afflicted with a type of madness, which vary in degrees. Anyone under the influence of material nature is considered haunted. Whatever a haunted person speaks should be considered as nonsense. In material world, it is very difficult to find a sane living entity. Here, this particular paragraph itself, Prabhupada says a story of a Bengali poet, a Vaishnava poet. He was mentioning he was indicating that particular story in such a way that a person, if he is haunted by ghost, he will be always talking nonsense only. Same way, if Prabhupada is taking a comparison, a human being or a living entity is haunted by the material desires, he will also keep on talking nonsense only. So Krishna conscious aims at curing this nonsense or material disease and re-establishing our original consciousness. Then Prabhupada go on to refer Bhagavad Gita 15.7. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditional life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Here Prabhupada says an example of a raindrop just leaving from the cloud. It is as pure as distilled water. The moment it hit the ground, it will gather all the dust and everything, and it will become contaminated. Going forward, Prabhupada also quotes Bhagavad Gita 9.10 in this book. This material nature, which is one of my energy, is working under my direction. Prabhupada very clearly indicates to the reader that material nature is also under the direct control of Krishna himself, actually. Then he quotes 4.7, the supreme science of soul, material nature, everything is received through a disciplic succession from the God himself. But in the course of the time, this succession was broken, and therefore the science is appeared to be lost. Now the Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada is trying to rediscover this particular science and give it to the common people. Towards the end of this chapter, Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita 18.6, wherein abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions and do not fear. And he concludes the chapter with the following sentence: the best and ultimate authority is Krishna, and he is our eternal well-wisher, and he always speaks for our benefit. Since we have to accept some authority, why not accept his? Simply by hearing his glories from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and by chanting his names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we can swiftly perfect our lives. So the first chapter itself, Prabhupada is putting across the thing by simply hearing his glories and chanting his names, we can swiftly perfect our lives. The second chapter, which is named as Getting Out of the Material Mire. Here, the chapter is starting with Prabhupada explaining what is a Vaishnava, what is the qualities of a Vaishnava, what is actually a devotee. He tried to explain what is the basic feelings of a Vaishnava. Actually, he says that the Vaishnava feels compassion for others' distress. And he also said Vaishnava is with the ocean of mercy and ready to forgive all offenses done towards them. But Krishna never forgives the offenses committed at the lotus feet of a pure Vaishnava. And he again mentioned that Vaishnava is like a fulfilling tree, actually. So anybody can go and approach a Vaishnava with a sincere devotee. You can give the Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada also says Vaishnava is considered to be a fortunate person because he knows the route to reach the God. And he also explained the Vaishnava, the duties of a Vaishnava. The prime duty of Vaishnava is to go from door to door and to get unfortunate people to accept the good fortune of the path to reach to the God. How can these people, there will be things, the Vaishnava will be always thinking, how can these people be delivered from the hellish life? Their only mission to save simple people who are suffering, they have the knowledge how to do this particular thing. So initial part of the second chapter, Prabhupada is mentioning about or indicating about Vaishnava. Then the second part of this particular chapter, Prabhupada started discussing about the discussion or conversation happening, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Narasimhadev after the killing of Hiranyakashipu. So Prabhupada is referring the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.43. The best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I simply concerned with love for them. Here, Prahlad Maharaj is explaining to the, as a prayer, he is telling the Lord Narasimhadev, saying that I don't need a salvation without taking care of these particular fools and rascals. My duty is to take care of those people. So here again, Prabhupada is explaining about Maya. He said that Maya is false and illusionary. And all living entities, especially human beings, we try to generate a comfortable situation, but we only succeed in creating another uncomfortable situation. Here, Prabhupada is giving a classic example of United States car market, actually, wherein the highest number of cars are being sold in that particular country, actually, across the world. And Prabhupada is saying that cars have been designed to give a comfort to the human being. But along with that particular comfort, a series of other uncomfortable things are happening, like air pollution, global warming, which leads to the climate change and all kind of problems. Yes, there is one set of comfort a human being has created, but a series of other discomfort is following. And he also says an example in this book, saying that somebody can follow, one person can follow, fly from New York to Boston in less than 1 hour. But after reaching the airport, he may take more time to reach from the airport to his place because of the traffic issues and everything. But with all these discoveries, all these comforts which man trying to add, a series of discomforts situations are being created, actually. So Prabhupada go on to say that material person have unnecessarily burdened themselves simply for a temporary happiness. For temporary, momentary happiness, he's creating all these particular problem, and he again getting burdened by the kind of problem. At Vedic civilization, it was recommended that one person can take sannyasa or a renounce order and execute devotional service without much anxiety. But Prabhupada is very clearly indicating that taking renounce order is not always necessary. One can practice Krishna conscious life, Krishna consciousness in family life itself. Prabhupada give the examples of the great devotees of Krishna like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. All these were grahasthas with the big families, but they executed Krishna consciousness in a very superlative manner. Prahlad Maharaj continued, I have learned the art of always remaining in Krishna consciousness by simply glorifying the victorious activities and pastimes of the Lord. That means basically, Prahlad Maharaj is indicating that keep on reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody can, all the victorious activities and pastimes of the Lord is given in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So we can always glorify the God and we can always remain in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada again referred to Bhagavatam 7.9.44. Again, the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj to Narasimhadev. My dear Lord Narasimhadev, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving alone all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. Here, Prahlad Maharaj is very clearly indicating he did not recover the salvation alone. Because he is very clearly stating to Narasimhadev, unless he take care of the fools, unless he is not, there is nobody else there to do actually. So I want to teach them how to surrender the lotus feet. And this is my goal. Prahlad Maharaj said that I want to teach those fools and rascals how to surrender to the lotus feet. And that is his goal of life actually. The word surrender is emphasized here. A devotee known, as soon as he surrenders, his path to back to Godhead is clear actually. All one has to do, bow down in front of Krishna with a friendly faith. This is what Prabhupada has written in the book. All one has to do is bow down in front of Krishna with a faith and say, may my Lord Krishna, I was forgetful of you for so long and for so many lives. Now I have come to consciousness of you and please accept me. That is all. One simply learn this technique and sincerely surrender himself to the Lord. His path is immediately opened. This is the aim of real Vaishnava. So Prabhupada very clearly indicating, very clearly explaining that particular thing in his book, that surrendering the lotus feet of the God is the only solution. Again, Prabhupada refers to Bhagavad Gita 15.5. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me the remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. This way, Prabhupada is indicating that Krishna gives us a choice actually. If you want Krishna, he gives us a chance to associate with him actually. If you don't want Krishna, he gives us a chance to forget him also. It's up to us whether we want Krishna or not. Krishna will, according to our wishes, Krishna will facilitate that particular move of ours actually. And Prabhupada conclude this particular chapter, second chapter, by referring to Bhagavad Gita 4.9. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So Prabhupada is very clearly indicating that what Krishna has told to Arjuna. He is referring to that particular thing. Be focused, surrender to the God, always remember the appearance and the activities of the God. We can easily go back to his eternal abode. Coming to the chapter 3, the heading of the chapter 3, learning to love. His chapter is opened with a mention on the sinful activities of human beings. And Prabhupada is quoting the Vedas to state that one cannot even kill an ant without being responsible. So Prabhupada is very clearly, every action of us in this world is we should be responsible. We cannot wash off our hands not being responsible about our activities. And Krishna next going to that particular meat eating as a concept, and he discussed thoroughly on that particular thing. And Prabhupada is saying that traditionally devotees of Krishna do not eat meat. And he also explained that this particular non-eating meat or vegetarianism is not for the sake of it. It's purely for the progress of a human being or a person in Krishna consciousness. And he also said that one should eat the remnants of the foodstuff offered to the Lord. Here he refers that Bhagavad Gita 9.6. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. This is a famous slogan in Bhagavad Gita. Here, it is not a question of whether you are wealthy or poor. Anybody can offer a flower. Anybody can offer a leaf. Anybody can offer a water. So, and Krishna, Prabhupada is also stating that Krishna is not hungry or begging for food from us. The purpose of offering this is a loving transaction. Our love, we will be having a loving transaction with the God actually. So Krishna wants this transaction. You love me and I will love you. The important point, we should learn how to love Krishna. How we should love our Krishna actually. The method of Krishna consciousness allows to make friends with Krishna. We can enter into any number of relations with Lord. We can have the servant, friend, even at higher levels like father, mother, sister, brother, etc. And going from there, Prabhupada started explaining about the artificial identities of human beings. We all feel proud of, I am this, I am that, I am an Indian, I am an American, I am Japanese, I am a chartered accountant, I am an engineer, I am a doctor. But all this is of no meaning. But our actual identity should be, I am Krishna's either friend, I am Krishna's servant. That is the actual identity of a human being. And our relation with Krishna is eternal and not subject to time and circumstances. And Prabhupada here refers that Bhagavad Gita 3.9, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kundi, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Such a lifestyle in which everything is done for Krishna promotes development of Krishna consciousness with the living entity. Our activities may remain same, but we should understand that we are acting for Krishna, not for the personal satisfaction. Here, Srila Prabhupada explained this particular sloka, saying that all activities which you are performing, whether currently you are performing, the moment you have this feeling in your mind that we are doing everything for Krishna, then it is the right way, the right progress in Krishna consciousness actually. Those who seriously follow Krishna consciousness though previously associated with undesirable activities are able to stay on a platform where there is no material contamination. Prabhupada is making a very strong statement, even though we started late in Krishna consciousness. We have some previously associated with a long undesirable activities. But we will, as long as we are in Krishna consciousness, there is no material contamination, further material contamination happens. And he says, goes on to state, Krishna consciousness is an excellent medicine. Unless one comes to awareness of Krishna consciousness, the habits he forms, the three modes of material nature will continue and we will not be able to change them. Only by Krishna consciousness, being in touch with Krishna consciousness, our habits can be changed. The habits which we develop with the three modes of material nature can be changed. Without Krishna consciousness, we may not be able to do that particular thing. And he concludes the third chapter with, if one actually wants freedom from a repetition of birth and death, he must come to Krishna consciousness. This is the bold statement he again made. To stop the birth and death of repetition of the birth and death, we should take Krishna consciousness. There are the takeaways of the first 3 chapters. My sincere request is that please make a sincere effort to read this book. PDF format is available in Google actually. You can download and read this book, only 118 pages only. The takeaway is that Krishna is the only eternal well-wisher of us. He is the only eternal well-wisher. And we need to completely surrender to Krishna, progress in Krishna consciousness and progress in our life, and to fight against the material desires or the miseries of material desire. With this, I am concluding the first review of the first 3 chapters. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Bandhu Prabhu, you are there? Yeah, Prabhu, I think I put a comment there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, he is on office call Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
No problem. Vasant Prabhu or someone can read my comment.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it was a very nice class. The message from Jagan Prabhu is Hare Krishna. Very good presentation indeed. Simple, clear, crisp. Chapter-wise summary is well explained. Dandavad Pranam. The connection between chapters could have been explicitly explored to demonstrate how Srila Prabhupada evolved the topic by his grace, Jagajivannath Prabhu.
Thanks a lot, Prabhu. As always, I see that in all your presentations, I've seen it before also. Your presentation speaks your character. Your presentation speaks how you are and who you are. Simple, straightforward, humble, clear. So very nice, Prabhu. Thanks a lot. I think it is very good. It's very inspiring to get such a wonderful summary of a book like this, and definitely we will take a time to browse through this book. Absolutely wonderful. Simple. You really, I think, got the grasp of what a review means. Wonderful, Prabhu. Thanks a lot, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Jagat Bandhu Achita Prabhu, and thanks Jagan Prabhu for the nice review and very simple and straightforward presentation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
It was very nice.
Prabhu, you would like to have the bhajan now, or you would like Mataji to continue? Hare Krishna.
I think she wants the bhajan to be, and then we'll go for the class.
Okay. Is Kavita ready now with
Bol Hari Bol.
Bol? Huh?
Bol Hari Bol.
Bol Hari Bol.
Hey, Bolo!
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I'll take it up. I'll take it up, Prabhu. She has to get bit ready. Okay.
So you want to continue, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhu, I'll continue.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we request devotees to post their comments in the chat box, and once Mataji's session is over, so we can take on the questions. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji.
Just share my
Are you able to share your presentation, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
I'm just asking him to unshare so that I can share it.
I think Jagat Bandhu Prabhu can unshare his thing first before.
Yeah.
Kavita.
Prabhu, you can see my screen, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all. Before I start, I would like to thank Jagan Prabhu and Bandhu Prabhu, though we have been told not to thank, but I would really like to thank for one point that the book has been given very apt to me, very simple book, because when Bandhu Prabhu told me to do this, I was in double mind. When he told me to take up this Seva for Ramadan class, I was in double mind, should I take it up, because I was running short of time. So I was in double mind, should I take it or not? And when I started reading this book, and when my Prabhu also said it's just a small book, 118 pages. And when I started reading this book, I really thanked Jagan Prabhu and Bandhu Prabhu from the depth of my heart that it's a very simple book for a person like me. It is very apt, very nicely written. I enjoyed reading this book. I would say that this book can be carried by each and every person by each and every devotee in their bag, and can be read like a storybook. Because as Jagat Bandhu Achyutadas said, that Prabhupada has put this book so simply for the common person that a heavy thing, a heavy statement, or a knowledge, a very heavy knowledgeable thing, Prabhupada has put it extremely simple, and he has explained it in each and every way to make it very simple for the common person like me. So if a person who is reading it for the first time, he may think, what is this Krishna consciousness? What are these shlokas? What is this liberation or austerity, or for that matter, what is this steadiness in Krishna consciousness or tapasya? All these big words, when a person who is just into Krishna consciousness or who has just not entered Krishna consciousness, for this person to understand what is the meaning of human life means, this book is very apt. That is one thing. Second thing, in this book, Prabhupada is clearly mentioning in one of the chapters that Krishna consciousness is above religion. So if we would like to present this book to somebody else without harming or without offending their feeling, a person who is not from a follower of Hinduism, or a person who doesn't know about Vedas or Vedic literature, Vedic culture, we may feel that we may offend that person's feeling. But this book, Prabhupada has written in such a way that anybody who reads it will never feel offended, because Prabhupada has clearly said that that Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that we are going to convert anybody to like Christians to Hindu or to any other cult. Krishna consciousness is above religion. It is, Krishna consciousness is a movement where it is teaching us to know our constitutional position with the Lord and what should we be doing after knowing that. So from that point of view, I would really like to thank Jagan Prabhu and Bandhu Prabhu for giving me this particular book. And before I start, I would take the blessings of all the devotees who have assembled. And as in the guidelines for this Ramadan class, it has been mentioned that we have to do a book review and to encourage the people to read Prabhupada's book. Hope that today I am able to do that I am able to do a review of the book. That was my intention. Second thing is that hope I'm able to bring that inculcate that interest in the listeners that about this book, the Matchless Gift. This is actually a matchless gift what Prabhupada has written. So taking the blessings of all the devotees, and my Guru Maharaj, I start this review of this book. So I have exactly made a mind map kind of a thing so that I may be able to put it in a more simpler way. Till the first 3 chapters, Jagat Bandhu Achyuta Das has taken. The 4th, 5th, 6th, and the 7th chapter, I'll be just going through it. So the 4th chapter says it's learning tapasya, self-control. So till now we saw that Prabhupada is giving very strong statements that why we are getting into troubles, or why we are getting into sinful thing, or how we should get up out of this material thing. So in learning tapasya, self-control, Parikshit Maharaj is actually asking a question to Sukadev Goswami. Here the reference of one of the shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been done. So here it says, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadev Goswami that repetitive sinning and atonement seem to be, to me, like nothing but a waste of time. So why he is saying that is that we do atonement, like in Bhagavatam also the example of elephant is given. The elephant goes into the water, he takes bath, comes out, and again puts dust on him. So what is the use of taking a bath? So here Parikshit Maharaj is saying that then what is the use of doing all these things when we are again going to commit this sins again? Because we are in this material world, we tend to do sinful activities. So he's saying that if one cannot achieve liberation, what is the use of atonement? And second thing is that we are put in this material world in such a situation, where we are forced to do sinful things. So when we are doing sinful things, we go for atonement. Again, we are doing the same thing because we have this tendency of doing sinful things. So that's the reason Sukadev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadev Goswami that then what is the importance of this? How can we ultimately become free from all the contamination brought about by the material modes of nature? So in answer, Sukadev Goswami is saying that what happens is that just merely counteracting karma or fruitive activities, these miseries are not going to end. The trouble is actually what it happens due to our ignorance. We always put ourselves into trouble because we are not knowledgeable and because of our ignorance. So he is giving Srila Prabhupada is giving an example that United Nations, Prabhupada has written this book in such a way that each and every person can understand it very simply by giving very simple real life examples what is happening, what has happened in the world. So here he says that the United Nations, what happens is that when war breaks out, some solution is brought to it, and United Nations is attempting to establish peace in this world, but they cannot stop war because for one or the other reason the war is breaking. So after the First World War, some diplomats got together and they manufactured League of Nations. Then the Second World War happened. They came out with something new, but still the war is going on. So the actual goal is to stop the war, but that is not happening because some of the other thing is coming up. For right now, we can see that COVID is there. Before that, there was dengue, some other thing. So many diseases, they come and go. So many other miseries, they come and go. So every time some or the other war is happening, some of the other things is happening, because we are not able to stop this. But again, we stop it for a temporary time, and then again the next opportunity there's another war. So this cycle keeps on going. The cycle of sinful activities and atonement is like that what we actually want is free from all this material suffering, but that is not happening. So Sukadev Goswami is saying that the ultimate solution to this is that we lack knowledge. Because of our ignorance, this is what we are facing the problems n number of times. We have a war, we stop it due to with bringing some solution. Again, there is a war, we bring some solution. Again, there is a war. So why this is happening? So he's saying that this is because of ignorance. And then he says that nobody is asking that why we are fighting. What is the reason of fighting? So he says when the human beings, they don't ask proper questions like why I'm suffering, or why, what is my constitutional position, or where shall I go after death? Why am I put into this miserable form of life? When we start asking this why question, that's when we have to advance in our knowledge. If one wants to actually, Sukhdev Goswami says further that when one wants to answer this why, and he wants to put stop to the diseased life, then what he has to do is he has to follow a regulative principle. Now, what is this regulative principle? Now, for example, we go to a physician. We have a disease. We go to a physician. He cannot. He will give us some program to cure ourselves. But what happens is that it may be cured, it may not be cured, because we have not gone to the root cause. So how can we stop the problems of our life? So he's saying that simply by atonement, there may be a temporary suppression of difficulties, but they will again rise. So he's saying that this suffering will keep on coming and going, because the karmis are always into fruitive actions. They always want to, throughout the day they work, night they want to enjoy. So again they get into suffering, and again when they end their life, they transmigrate to another body, and this life cycle keeps on going. So the first step is tapasya, learning tapasya, that is austerity and restrictions. So what is actually tapasya? Tapasya is something like if a doctor wants a diabetic person to stop eating something, so he will put some restriction on him. Though that restriction is, he is not happily taking it, because he doesn't want to. But he knows that if he doesn't take this, then it will be a problem for him. So tapasya actually here is, what Prabhupada writes is that it's voluntarily accepting steps where we have to, which is meant good for the human life. So in tapasya, when you are doing voluntary acceptance of a miserable condition, that is what tapasya means. So this will help us, this will help the human life to be, it will have a purpose for the human life. Now, tapasya, when we talk about tapasya, Prabhupada mentions that in India, many people, they do tapasyas of different kind, like standing in the cold water in the winter, or sit in the summer. They also ignite fires surrounding them and sit down in the midst of the blazes, and they meditate. So these are the several kinds of tapasyas that in India generally people do. And Prabhupada is asking in this chapter that sometimes, not exactly asking, but sometimes tapasya is certainly required. Without it, we cannot actually advance in spiritual life. Like for us, when we are into Krishna consciousness, so initially we have been told to do Ekadasi. That's a tapasya that we do. But initially we find it difficult to take up Ekadashi, to fast, to eat non-grain food, and to chant more rounds. All these things, initially we find it a bit difficult. But we know that for the progress of our spiritual life, we have to take this up. Otherwise, it is like, if we don't do tapasya, if I have to reach somewhere, or if I have to pass an exam, I have to have some kind of restriction and control and regulation in it, so that I'm able to work for it, move forward and pass that exam. Otherwise, it is just like, then human life becomes like a animal thing, we eat, sleep, mate, and defend, not accepting any tapasya. We don't want any kind of restrictions. We want to be always free. So then it's a failure to the human life. So, and then Prabhupada writes about the Western life, because this book was written when Prabhupada was in New York. So he's doing a little bit of comparison between the Western life and the Indian life, that in Western countries, it is very difficult to tell them to do tapasya, that is giving up illicit sex life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. Although this is all required, but for them it is very difficult. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that in England, a Westerner, wealthy aristocrat person, he came to a Vaishnava god brother and said, "Swamiji, can you make me a Brahmana?" So the Swamiji replied, yes, why not? But before that, you have to follow these 4 principles, that is no illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. And the Britishers said, impossible, I can't do that. So Prabhupada writes that it's not possible for them because the European or American way of life is self-indulgence. So it becomes very difficult. Indians have automatically, they have been taught tapasya through the Vedic culture, but to an extent Indians have also lost it, because when they went to Western countries to for studies or for job, they saw this lifestyle and they have accepted it. So somewhere the Indian culture also lost this. So Prabhupada says that if we want to advance in spiritual understanding and solve all the problems of life, then we must accept the life of tapasya. Tapasya is austerity and restriction. Now, when we talk about restriction is that restriction is for human beings or for animals. Obviously, it is for human beings. Animals are never restricted. We know that when we drive a car and we are on the wrong side, it is always a fine for us. But if an animal is walking on the wrong side, he is never fined for it. Because human beings have a better understanding that animals, and human beings are supposed to follow the regulations. But today's propaganda is that celebrating freedom is what is being propagated as opposed to a regulated life. But one who has understood that this freedom is of no use to me, it is like an animal life, will never go for such kind of a freedom. Therefore, Sukadev Goswami is recommending that tapasya is what is best for human life, because it helps us, not actually best, but tapasya is needed for us to progress in spiritual life. Otherwise, we get bonded to the material life and we keep on coming life after life into this birth. Now, what is the first step? Now, tapasya is, what is tapasya and what is austerity? So the first principle of austerity is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is the restricted sex life. So in Vedic culture, the beginning of life starts with brahmacharya. When he grows up, the brahmachari can marry and become a grahastha and have a restricted sex life. And being in grahastha only, he can follow the tapasya, he can do the devotional practice and move forward in spiritual life. But in present age, it has the life has got degraded because there is a want of tapasya. You know, people are not ready to take up tapasya. Like many times when we say that when people come to Krishna consciousness, or they ask what happens in Krishna consciousness, what is it? And when we say that it is, we do ekadashi, we do fasting, we do chanting, all this tapasyas, when we say, they get a bit taken aback. They say, what is the use of fasting on ekadashis, and why? All those questions come up because people, they get scared with the word tapasya. Now, in Srimad Bhagavatam also, there are two words used, like Brahmana and Kripana. So who is a Brahmana and who is a Kripana? Brahmana refers to a liberal, broad-minded person, and a person who has understood the absolute truth through proper knowledge, through proper inquiry. Because the understanding of this absolute truth is never taught in any school or colleges. You know, schools and colleges, they teach you a different kind of education. But those who have understood the proper truth of Supreme, the absolute, the truth of the absolute, the knowledge of the absolute truth is a Brahmana. But one who has not understood this, who is a miser, is known as a Kripana. So to gain this knowledge of absolute truth, like, you know, the process of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, this need not be taught, you know, because this is very very natural to us. It comes in The moment we take birth, all these things are there. So this need not be taught. But to gain the knowledge of the absolute truth, it is important for us, and for that, for the need to gain that knowledge, to know that who is the absolute truth, to an extent we have to do tapasya. So in Vedas also it is said that we have to follow brahmacharya, celibacy, which are the characters characterizing the beginning of a life dedicated to tapasya. So to properly execute celibacy, also we have to understand one point is that we should avoid association with the opposite sex, or hearing more about them, or getting in contact with them unnecessarily. All this will hinder the brahmacharya. Further, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that by austerity, celibacy, and control of mind and senses, one can advance in pure life. Similarly, when we want to advance more, we can also advance through proper charity. So that is called as tyaga, renunciation. We all have charity in ourselves, but we don't know where to do it, how to do it. So it has to be properly channelized. So if you have a $1 million, we should not keep it with us, because we should try to spend it in Krishna's service, because that is the right way we can properly utilize it in Krishna's energy. So as we all know that when we quit this body, all these money resources, we are not going to take it. It is going to stay here. We don't know that afterwards what will happen. Will it reach the right person? How it will be used? We don't know nothing. But this, when the body is finished, the spirit soul transmigrates to another body, and one does not know where the money what we had earned, how it is going to be used. So a person may leave the world declaring how the money should be spent by his son or his heirs, but even if one leaves millions of dollars here in this life, next life he cannot use it, he cannot claim it, because that is that he cannot take it. Therefore, as long as it is in one's hand, it is better to spend it for a good purpose rather than using it for a bad purpose, and we get entangled in it. And Krishna doesn't, when we talk about charity, again, Bhagavad Gita says that there are three kinds of charity: charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So Krishna doesn't need our money, because he is the person, he is the richest person, and he is the person who is providing everything with us. And he is the original proprietor. So when Krishna is saying that in Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Krishna says that I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend in me, and I am also a friend to him. So Krishna is not in want of money for us, but he still asks charity from us. Why? Because as a father, he knows when a father is giving money to a child, the father is saying that, please, my son or daughter, please give that to me, because the father knows that the son doesn't know the value of that money. He may spend it badly. He doesn't know how to spend it, so it is harmful to him. So when Krishna is asking for charity, is begging for charity to us, it is for our own benefit, because he knows that we don't know the value of that much money. We may get into more entanglement. So the apt example of Bali Maharaj and Lord Vamana is given. So it is better for us to understand that we should return Krishna's money to Krishna, or use it in Krishna's service. Otherwise, it becomes like that we have stolen somebody else's money, because it is all Krishna's property. We are just the caretaker of it. So in this chapter, we got to know that atonement is useless because it does not award liberation. How can one become free from the contamination of modes of material nature? And why we get into it, and why we are always into misery, that is again trouble happens due to this, miseries all happen because of our ignorance. Then Prabhupada explains learning tapasya, what is austerity and restriction, and why we should be doing it. Because to to progress in our spiritual life, to an extent, this is must. Then what is the first step of austerity? That is brahmacharya. And charity is also one way that we can, along with celibacy, control, austerity, controlling our senses and mind. Charity is also one way that we can progress in spiritual practice. So again, this in this chapter, one more point I forgot to say, that if one wants this knowledge, he has to practice kind of austerity, tapasya, and the beginning of tapasya is, as already I said, is brahmacharya, that is celibacy or restricted sex life. The pivot of material attachment, attraction is sex, not only for human society, but even for animals. So sparrows, and they all have, sex 300 times. Prabhupada writes in that sparrows and pigeons have sex 300 times daily, although they are strict vegetarians, and lion, which is a vegetarian, has sex once a year. So Prabhupada is saying that spiritual life is actually not a question of vegetarianism, but of understanding the higher knowledge. So when one comes to a platform of elevated knowledge, he naturally becomes a vegetarian, because he starts looking at everybody. Pandita Samadarshini, he starts looking at everything as a spiritual spark. The only thing is that because of his past karma, that particular spiritual spark has taken a different body, like an elephant, a dog, or a cow, or a human being. So here I'll end this first chapter, and we'll move to the second chapter, the fifth chapter. That is learning steadiness in Krishna consciousness. So learning steadiness in Krishna consciousness, again, when it talks about two things, that is bhoga and tyaga. Now, bhoga is, there are two tendencies in this material world. One is bhoga and tyaga. So normally what happens is that first we all want to enjoy. Sometimes without guidance, we go and renounce. When that happens, that without guidance, we go and renounce, we start enjoying because we want to enjoy. We keep on enjoying, and when a point comes, we get frustrated because of this enjoyment. So the person renounces. Again, when he is tired of renunciation, we'll come back to enjoyment. So it is like, we are oscillating like a pendulum from enjoyment to renunciation. So the karmis, they tend to enjoy this world. As I said, that throughout the day they work, at the night they want to enjoy, they come back home and they want to enjoy. This world contains those engaged in bhoga and those engaged. This world is actually more with bhogis and tyagis. But Prabhupada makes one point very clear, that in either of this path, we will not be happy. Why? Because sense enjoyment is not our proper position. Because we are not the enjoyer. This enjoyer is the Supreme Personality. He is the topmost enjoyer. That's one thing. Second thing, tyaga. Renunciation is not for us. Because when we renounce things when things belongs to us. When everything belongs to Krishna, then the question of renouncing doesn't happen. Actually, we should be thinking of renouncing the idea that when we say that my husband, my family, my child, so when I read this chapter, but I felt that, we should be more into renouncing that thought of myism. If we see around us, can any one of us tell that have we manufactured anything, have we produced anything like trees or plants or waters or land, or even if we want to make a house, the sand or the bricks or anything. No, we haven't produced anything. Everything is Krishna's. This belongs, the whole world belongs to Krishna. So our claim of this is mine, this is yours is absolutely false. We all came empty handed. We have seen many times newborn babies. We have even seen death. Okay. So when we see a newborn baby, we can see that the child has come empty handed. Nothing was there in the child's hand. The same way when a person has left the body and we are seeing the last rites, and the body is kept on the wooden pipe to be burnt, nothing, the person is not taking anything. It is just the person is going empty handed. So then Prabhupada is asking, then what is the meaning of Bhoga and Tyaga? So he's saying that actually it doesn't have any meaning. Bhoga is thievery and Tyaga is renunciation of what never belonged to us. It is a form of lunacy. So further, Prabhupada is explaining using this shloka of 18.66. 18.6 is Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that because we entered into this Bhoga and Tyaga thing, we have manufactured different kinds of religion. So now Krishna is telling us that surrender all this thing and just come to me. I will take care of you. Because he is our supreme savior. He is our father. He knows that what is good for us. So that's the reason, and Krishna wants that his kids to come back, his children to come back without getting more entangled into this material world. So as I previously gave the example of a father begging a son that please give the money back to me, because the child doesn't know that how to use it, and that he knows that that doesn't belong to him, it is his father's. So it is best, the best thing is that we give it back to our father so that he knows how to spend it. So Krishna says that the same way you renounce all your work, renounce all your wealth and property, and just come to me. I will take care of everything. Krishna is begging to us, because he's treating us like small kids. The way a child is holding something very dangerous and the mother is saying, please don't hold that, please give it back to me. The child is holding something very dangerous thing in his hand and the mother is scared, bewildered, he's saying, please give that to me, it's not good for you. The same way Krishna is telling us that give that thing, just surrender to me. So Prabhupada is writing in this book that the compliance to this request to give everything to him is called Tyaga. That is called renunciation. Okay, so when we do this, that's when we attain elevation to Krishna consciousness. And further, Prabhupada is explaining about, Prabhupada has explained in between, he has explained very nicely using many shlokas of that why the Chaturvarnam was formed, how a Brahmana should be living, what are the qualities of a Brahmana, and a Brahmana should be fully engaged in the service of Supreme, practicing all the qualities of Brahmana like truthfulness, cleanliness, celibacy, austerity. So he's saying that unless and until a Brahmana doesn't do his work, simply saying that I'm a Brahmana will not work. It's again, he's giving an example that if an engineer says that I'm an engineer, but he's not working, then what is the use of he being an engineer? So he's saying that a Brahmana duty is to fully engage in the service of Param Brahman, Krishna, the Supreme Personality. So how we can engage ourselves in the service of the absolute truth? So Sukadev Goswami is here saying that the first necessity is tapasya, austerity. Tapasya and austerity and brahmacharya are initially painful because there is a restriction and we don't want to take it, but as we practice it, that becomes less painful. So when we have to, the question Prabhupada here asks, one thing is that when he's saying that the Brahmana has to serve, how we have to serve? By practicing yoga or linking with the Supreme. How do we link, or how we do the practice of yoga? It is based on the principles of regulation and control. So as I already said, that if one wants to pass, if I want to pass an exam, I have to go to the school, follow the principles of the school and take some pain in studying it, and then gradually he comes to be successful. The same way I have to follow the regulations and control. Then he talks about Dhira and Adhira and gives the example of Lord Shiva and Haridas Thakur. So because austerity and brahmacharya is painful initially, and when we, because it's kind of a restriction, but when we are practicing it, it becomes less painful. So based on this, here Prabhupada is writing about Dhira and Adhira, that Dhira are people who are very sober, and Adhira are who are very extravagant. So here Pandit Kalidas, in his Sanskrit poet book Kumara Sambhava, he's giving an example of Lord Shiva, that how Lord Shiva showed the quality of Dhira. When the demigods had a fight with the demons, they lost the war and they wanted a commander to save them, a commander-in-chief born out of Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva's semen. So they sent Parvati and they tried to distract him because Lord Shiva was in meditation. They could not do it. And then when Parvati couldn't do it because Lord Shiva was in meditation. So here Prabhupada saying that this is an example of Dhira, that even despite a young girl going and disturbing him, he was not out of meditation. The second example is of Haridas Thakur. We all know the example of Haridas Thakur, that how a prostitute every day she used to come and wait for Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur used to say, "See, I have still not finished my chanting." That prostitute used to sit near him, and Haridas Thakur used to say that you also chant, come tonight again, because I have not finished my chanting. And she used to come, but looking at Haridas Thakur's devotion, she also became a devotee. So Haridas Thakur is again a example of Dhira who had control of his body, words, and intelligence. Then we come to a point where Krishna consciousness is the topmost solution. How? Because we are into this world. I said we are into this material world where we are put in such a situation because of three modes of materialism, that we tend to commit this sinful activities, and we have been doing this time immemorial. We don't know when we started it and when we are going to stop it. When, we don't know. So it is like, we set fire to unwanted grass and creepers in a field and they get burnt, but the seeds are still there. The weeds are still there. So again, it will grow the same way. From top we are polishing ourselves by doing atonement and all, but inside we still have this seed in it. So we are not able to come completely out of it. So Sukadev Goswami says in Srimad Bhagavatam, the only alternative process, there is suggests an alternative process, Kechit Kevalya Bhaktya, Vasudeva Parayanaha. He says that if one leads an austere and pious life of celibacy, equanimity, charity, etc., the people will say that he is a pious man. Pious and impious is not meant for Krishna consciousness. We are always working. We have to always serve as per Krishna's desire. For us, pious and impious activities doesn't matter. So it is something like the moment we are into Krishna consciousness, the topmost solution I'm saying is that when we are into Krishna consciousness, it's something like, there is a fog. The moment the sun rises, the fog disappears. The same way, when you are into Krishna consciousness, there's brilliance of thousands of sun, so that sinful things gets wiped off, it disappears. And Sukhdev Goswami is saying that this is the only way that this is the only solution that we can come out of it. And who can take up this? Only the fortunate, only very fortunate people. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Brahmananda Brahmeti Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By the grace of the Krishna and the spiritual master, a fortunate person, after wandering throughout the universe in different species of life, receives this seed of pure devotional service. So Krishna conscious is meant for a person who is very fortunate. Simply by accepting this one process, a person can surpass all the duties of austerity, renunciation, celibacy, etc. So he, Sukadev Goswami declares that Kech Kevalya Bhaktya, the unalloyed pure devotional service, is the only way where is the solution to all our problems. And our pure unalloyed devotional service should be such that there is no desire but only to please Krishna. The next chapter is transcending designation and problems. The transcending designations and problems, if we just see the topic of it, we can easily understand that any kind of designations that we have in our life, that I am so and so, I am this big, it's transcending that thing. So as I said that already I said that Krishna consciousness is easily achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, only for some fortunate people. In Bhagavad Gita also it says, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, only out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of this who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows the truth. So God realization is only possible for human beings. Or we can say that God realization is not possible for animals, or for persons who are almost animals, or for animals in the shape of human beings. So this contemporary civilization is by and large as an assembly of animals, because as stated, it operates on the basis of animal propensity. They all get up, birds, and the way human beings, the birds also, they all get up early, go for their work, feed them, come back home in the night, and they also do the same thing what human beings also do. So real civilization enables man to understand his relationship with the God. So here it says, just a moment. Just a moment, Prabhu. So real civilization enables man to understand his relationship with God. So here Prabhupada is writing that the real civilization is, like I said, that we have to ask questions that why we are here, why we are suffering here. So that will enable us to get or search the answers for that, why I have taken this body, what is my constitutional position with the with the Supreme, and I'm a minute spark of the Supreme. I'm not this body, I'm the soul. So when we are getting into all these things, then the correct civilization is to teach all those things, not to teach us that how we will learn, what we will learn, how much we will learn, or in which school we went, what degree we have taken. So our relationship with the God is what the real civilization has to teach us. And when we are, as I already said, that Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is not for getting into converting or telling about I am Christian, I am Hindu, or I'm Muslim. If any religion is teaching you how to love God or what is the relation with God, then you should take it up. That's what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says that if there is any other way to love God, then you should take it. If it is not there, then you should uh, join the Krishna conscious movement. Because he says that if one is not serious about understanding love of God, then it's a waste of time. Because when we Krishna conscious, when it says that it's above religion and all, it is teaching us how to know the relationship with God. We should not be thinking that should this person take it or this person should not take it, or a Christian should think that I should not be taking because it's a Hindu thing. No, if a Christianity or a Quran or a Bible is teaching them that how to love God, what is your relation with God, how to serve God, then that is still taking you to the right path. So when we go to any college or university, we don't see that who is teaching. It's an American teaching or a German teaching or any other national. We just have gone for a higher education, so we just simply take it. So Chanakya Pandit also says in Niti Darpana that we should take the best. Like if a poison plus nectar is mixed and kept given to you, then you should try to take the nectar and leave the poison. So the same way Prabhupada is saying, citing that example, that if a teacher is also from a lower caste or a lower, but he is giving you Krishna consciousness, you should be ready to take it, because that is what our civilization should be teaching us. Now, the loving service, the loving devotional service yields all desires. Kechit Kevalya, Patyak. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.15. So, this is actual loving devotional service yields all desire. Why? Because we have the example of Dhruva Maharaj. He went to Krishna with a desire to get all the material, all the opulences. But when he saw Krishna, he himself lamented that why I asked for it. So when we are in loving devotional service, everything, all our desires will be automatically coming. We need not ask for anything particular. Our duty is just to utilize our time in Krishna consciousness, and we should not tax ourselves for anything else. And then Prabhupada is talking about Mahatma versus Duratma. So in the shloka, it says that who knows Krishna, there's only one rare soul. So who is a Mahatma? Who knows Krishna and who knows that what is his actual position to Krishna. That is in 7.19, Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Such a great soul is very rare. So here he's saying that there are many so-called Mahatmas, who grow long beards and mustaches and tell everyone that I am God, that when they die, they will wake up and become God. No, they are not actually Mahatmas. They are actually Duratmas. So only a rare one soul can comes out to be a real Mahatma. And because you cannot occupy Krishna's position, when somebody says that I am God, when you die and you wake up, you will become God. You cannot take some Krishna's place, because you are trying to take Krishna's place. So that is not correct. because when in office also, if a employer tries to take his boss place, which is not correct. Similarly, any living entity cannot try to become God. It's not very much to God's liking, and it is not correct also. That is a false claim that a person makes. Then Prabhupada is explaining that, okay, when this happens, that a person is saying that I am God, or when you die and you become God, he is actually behaving as a competitor to God, not very pleasing to the God. So God says in Bhagavad Gita that whoever are envious or mischievous, the lowest of mankind, these do I ever put back into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. So then what God does is that he puts them into different kind of demonic life, because the claim what we are making is not correct, that we are God, or we can take the position of God, because we know Krishna's power. In Brahma Samhita also it says that there are innumerable universes, and within one breath of Mahavishnu, these universes are inhaled and dissolved within his body. And then Prabhupada further explains that surrender and faith in Krishna should be the topmost. And he gives the analogy of the sun, that because Mahatmas, they come as matchless gift to in our life. This is the actual matchless gift that Krishna sends to us. It is said that by the grace of Krishna, one gets a guru or a spiritual master, and by the grace of the spiritual master, one gets Krishna. So this is the matchless gift that Krishna sends to us. So this is like the gift of a sunrise. Every day when we get up the next day, it is a gift for us that we are alive, and we'll be able to do more of Krishna service to Krishna. So at night there is darkness, but in the morning, as soon as we get up, the sun rises and immediately the darkness passes away. So our faith in Krishna should be the topmost. The surrenderance should be complete. So in the same way, if we try to make that sun of Krishna rise within us, then all our problems will be solved. The last chapter, the matchless gift, liberation in Krishna consciousness. One need not be dependent on any other process, only Kevalya Bhakti is sufficient. So Sukadev Goswami is saying in this thing that Kevalya Bhakti, he has given the example of goldsmith versus blacksmith. He's saying that I have explained to atonement, austerity, charity, all those things I have explained, but there's only with one stroke you can get Kevalya Bhakti, that is through Bhakti Yoga. And he gives the example of goldsmith versus blacksmith. So he says that goldsmith, he will keep on hitting the gold, will keep on hitting, he keeps on tapping with a small hammer on the gold many times. But a blacksmith uses a large hammer, and with one stroke, his job is finished. So Sukadev Goswami is clearly telling us that this one stroke, this one big hammer should be Bhakti Yoga. And through this one big stroke of Bhakti Yoga, we should be finishing all the material life. And Krishna conscious is the only way that can save the earth from becoming hellish planet. Why? Because in this planet, Prabhupada has also given us the example of that how we make this earth a hellish planet, because we have unnecessarily created problems for us. There is everything on this earth. There is food, water, everything what a human being needs to live. But we have unnecessarily created problems by creating artificial demands. Prabhupada is citing an example which happened in 1942, where an artificial famine was created, and the price of the rice, which was some 6 rupees per kg, was increased very highly. This was created to hike the price artificially. same way, he's saying that when World War II happened in Germany, the German ladies, they went and prayed to the in the church that let our husbands and sons come back. When they did not come back from the war, they became atheists. They blamed the Lord. So here Prabhupada is saying that Lord need not be blamed. We are the person who are creating all this problem because of our desires, and we are making it hellish. Everything is there. We did not go. We did not travel far and wide for food, water, and living. Everything is there. We just have to balance it. When there is an imbalance which we created, that's when this planet becomes hellish. And he's also saying that that this all economical problems also are created by us. When I used to study, people used to, when I was in school, teachers, when they discuss that some are rich and some are poor, and then she will give the example, this is actually done by God. So I used to think how God is responsible for it, how God can make some people rich and some people poor. But the thing is that now I understand that this things, some economic things, all we have created is by our own folly, due to our own foolishness. There is food for everybody, but some have more, some don't have it. For some there is lots of food, and for some it is being thrown in the ocean. Like one simple example I can give is that a few years back in Gujarat, there was a heavy rains and thunderstorm. So lots of food was donated for people who were affected, and it used to come to a port named Kandla Port. And the food used to get accumulated there for distribution. Now the distribution did not happen properly because the system was not carried out properly. And people were saying that that whole lot, it's not a lot, it's a huge storage they had. That whole storage started decaying because the food was not, that grain, that wheat was not being distributed, and it started decaying, and that smell used to be spreaded miles away, and because of that smell people used to get sick. So this is how we have created problem for us, and we have made this planet hellish. And then later on, Prabhupada says that when we want to remove the darkness from our life, so when there is darkness, Krishna is not there, but when there is Krishna, the Maya disappears. So we can teach people to surrender unto Krishna, to remove all the fog and mist of illusion by simply telling them to chant. Chanting actually clears, it purifies us, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Then Sukadev Goswami says that, as I was said, that tapasya is not enough. It must be based on bhakti. And liberation entails freedom from all body designation. The moment we get this knowledge that I am not the body, I am the soul, we are in a position of liberation, so that all the bodily designations are removed. And as soon as one understands his relations to God, he realizes universal brotherhood. How? Because he starts looking at each and every person, each and every living entity as a spiritual spark. So then there is no envy, no anger, no other desire to harm the people. Then it becomes a universal brotherhood. So with this, I complete this book. And I would just like to add one thing, that this Matchless gift, Prabhupada, one of his early devotees, Haigriva Prabhu, has written an article on Matchless gift. Here Prabhupada is putting Krishna consciousness as matchless gift to us. But this early devotee, Haigriva Prabhu, who joined Prabhupada in very early days when Prabhupada had just started, he has written an article on how he met Prabhupada and how he got initiated and how he got completely into Krishna consciousness. And taking Prabhupada as a matchless gift, he has written a beautiful article on it. Sorry, Prabhu, I've taken a bit of more time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Bol. Very nice, Mataji, very nice. You are bang on time. So you have not overshot your time. I think you went fast the last couple of chapters.
Yes, Prabhu, because initial few chapters were means in the sense, Prabhu, the whole book is that I was not able to make a decide that where I should leave and where should I take it, because each and everything Prabhupada has, I have removed many things from what I have prepared, because where I should all the analogies, some of the analogies I've left, becomes a bit difficult to concise this into, which is a very small book but very nicely. So sorry, Prabhu, I had to run fast.
No, Mataji, Jai Ho. So, Jagan Prabhu has got a very apt comment. Says that Hare Krishna Mataji, clear explanation, straightforward. We came to know a very good definition of Tyaga and real civilization. Using the mind mapping tool, AYOA, to explain the contents of the book is unique. This is a mind mapping tool, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Actually, Kavita told me, because she was after me, that why don't you use this mind mapping map for your lecture? So this time, actually, when this book came in, it struck me that I can use it. So she gave me this idea of using this mind mapping cell, because in the school they use this mind mapping system.
Interesting. So thanks a lot for teaching a new method. One suggestion, you should have used cursor movement to show which particular point you are elaborating. Hare Krishna. So is this the same tool which was used by that devotee Mataji, who devotee Prabhu, who talked about digital preaching a couple of months ago? I forgot his name.
I know that Prabhu from Chennai, no?
He's different. His tools are different.
Yeah.
Iowa is a very basic tool. And the next level of tools that we use, Harigopal Prabhu uses a slightly high-end tool. And the one which Prabhu uses is different. You are talking about Chennai Prabhu, right?
Shabda Hari.
Shabda Hari
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Shabda.
Yeah, no, his tools are very high-end. They're very interactive mind mapping tool, mainly meant for digital media. What Mataji used is a very basic tool, but nevertheless a good concept, a good way to cover a topic. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Today, Purnanand Prabhu is there. If he wants to share something about Pankajangri Prabhu, we can do that. Just now, I received a very nice email from Sarvasakshi Prabhu on Pankajangri Prabhu. As Prakash Purnanand Prabhu gets ready, I will share this thing. I think can all Prabhu, you can make me the co-host so that I can share.
Prabhu, you have put, please share the article of the link. Sorry, link to the article. Are you referring to today's presentation, Prabhu?
No, Mataji said there is an article on this book by Haigriva Prabhu.
Okay. Mataji,
Prabhu.
can you share that link to the article which you mentioned?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll surely do it, that Prabhu.
Yeah, so I will share my screen. Sunila Madhav Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So can you, I'll just, these are the things that Sarasakshi Prabhu glorified Pankajanga Prabhu with 4 or 5 posters. Can you run through us one by one? Prabhu, you can read this out. What is the text?
Mild, surrendered fully to Krishna and fully satisfied within and without in Krishna consciousness, engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. He is carefree, calm, not agitated, non-violent, and mild in dealing with others.
Hare Krishna. Can some Mataji pick up this? We'll do other devotees also, one by one. Can someone quickly pick up?
Rasavati Mataji, can you read this?
Can I read this?
Yeah.
You, his heart and mind are constantly submerged in the purifying waters of love of Godhead, and his shining body is always engaged in Lord Krishna's pure devotional service. Simply by remembering such a pure devotee, One is free from the tendency to sin.
Hare Krishna. Can someone pick up this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Peaceful. He is very peaceful due to his own pure Krishna consciousness, shouldering the immense pressure and responsibility of a worldwide spiritual family. With its commitment problems, he gracefully meted out love, guidance, and practical instructions with full composure.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, Sunila Madhav, next one you can read. Yeah, Sunila Madhav Prabhu.
Yeah. Due to his being situated in the eternal spiritual energy of the Lord Krishna, he is faultless, free from the four material defects, namely the tendency of committing mistake, to be in illusion, to cheat others, and to possess imperfect senses.
Yeah, there's one more young
Prabhu,
devotee.
now I will read, Prabhu. My
Okay.
that mobile is not working. That is the magnanimous. He is distributing freely the gift of pure love of God to everyone, which is infinitely superior to all other gifts. Having practiced and preached pure bhakti, Suddha bhakti, throughout his entire life, he established the significance of the term Maha Vadanya.
So, Pankajangi Prabhu is also a matchless gift to his aunt, the matchless gift of Srila Prabhupada's disciple community. So, can someone read this last one? I think.
Hare Krishna.
Merciful, he cannot tolerate seeing the world merged in ignorance and suffering the wish flashes of Maya. Therefore, he busily engages in distributing Krishna consciousness and is called Kripalu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
His unwavering remembrance of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna provide the perfectly effulgent example of spiritual, saintly, and by faithfully serving his lotus feet, we will soon become free from our material illusions.
Hare Krishna, truthful. He always remembers that he is the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is omniscient, the reserver of all pleasure and the ultimate enjoyer of all activities.
Hare Krishna. This is how Sarasakshi Prabhu has remembered. I think it's a very nice way to remember, and so many devotees are also doing. I'll just play. I think all of you must have seen it. This is the last goodbye to Prabhu. So this how this happened about a few hours back, and Prabhu, Purnananda Prabhu, you want to share something? Because there are so many people are sharing so many things. My daughter has shared something which was very interesting to me. Pankajangri Prabhu was there during her initiation ceremony in Atlanta 2009, summer of 2009. I think Pankajangri Prabhu was giving the class on the 10 offenses and importance of Guru along with His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. So she fondly shared that remembrance of having the association of Pankajanga Prabhu during her initiation. Like that, I mean, worldwide, many devotees have lots of things to share and remember. So, if Purnanand Prabhu is there, I would request him to come on board to say a few things.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, sir.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
No, this seminar I'm enjoying. I've read these books on and off, but long time. But now recollecting what I have gone through this thing, it's a very nice things going on. And this reminds me that what I have gone through, read through this. And regarding Pankajangri Prabhu in Mayapur, it's a long time I've not been there. But when few years I was there, I used to meet both the brothers. I think once he was in Dubai also. Right, sir? Anyway, you are on mute, Prabhu. Can't hear you.
This is Sunila Madhav Prabhu and Bodhini, I think, yeah, with Pankaj Prabhu in the Regent School, I think, on the day.
Yeah, he was in the Regent School. And then we went in a boat with the Paduka. You remember, Prabhu?
Yeah, correct.
In which year this was, Prabhu?
2019.
Okay, 2 years back. Okay, when they had come for this TOP collection, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
We had a nice in Srila Prabhu's house also. Yeah.
Right.
Any other devotees who want to come forward to share their experiences or realizations? It'll be nice to see these wonderful devotee. I think in Narottam Prabhu also has posted something very interesting, very nice photographs of Guru Maharaj. He's on a Jayapataka Maharaj viewing the last, when Pankajanga Prabhu was brought from the temple and was placed on the courtyard of Mayapur. He's on a Jayapataka Maharaj is viewing from his, I think, quarters, and also he was also offering Aarti to the as a last goodbye Aarti to the great devotee. And of course, we all pray for the lotus feet of the Prabhu. And
also Maharaj offered the garland to him.
Yes, and this is, I think, one of the photographs that they've taken with Amrish Prabhu and both the brothers, and I think behind is Vijayapurna Maharaj. He's known as Vijayapurna Maharaj, Bhakti Vijayapurna Maharaj. So like that, many devotees are sharing, pouring, tributes are pouring continuously. It's very, very sad that we have to lose a great personality like that, but that's how the life is. And just now in the description of the matchless gift also, we have once again come to know that this is a very temporary world and these kind of distresses are there. And but yeah, it's definitely a huge loss for a very person who was serving Narsingadev so dearly, and who prayed for the millions and millions of devotees. Whenever ISKCON devotee, wherever in this part of the world, any part of the world, whenever they get into problem, the message goes to Mayapur and ultimately it reaches Pankajanga Prabhu, and Pankajanga Prabhu prays on their behalf. So it's very, very sad and touching to see these things happening. But anyway, we should take this in a proper perspective, and I think His Honour Jayapatak Maharaj also sent a very beautiful note that we should not be sad. We should be grateful to know that someone has demonstrated what a pure bhakti is there, and what will happen if you have a pure bhakti. Like I think in Jagat Bandhu Prabhu's session, he did tell that pure bhakti really takes us back to Godhead, and that's the ultimate pinnacle success of being in devotion and in the association of devotees. Like this, we'll remember Prabhu for a long time, throughout our life, and we'll also pray that devotees in Mayapur will also come out of this shock. This is shock, one thing, and there also kind of a guilt also some people may carry on why we let the guard down in Mayapur. So, but we can't say this, but there were thousands and thousands of people. Only one person had this kind of a serious issue. So it's not that. So in our anger, we should not at least harbor any thought that something was wrong, was done by somebody. Because even I was angry in the morning. I was trying to control my anger by chanting, because my anger came with a question in my mind: what would be the situation of a devotee who had passed this virus to Pankajanga Prabhu? Whether Krishna punishes him, or whether Krishna rewards him, or Krishna ignores him. Because there is somebody who went near Prabhu and who had passed on this, right? At least one or two people. Minimum is one. What could be their fate? But after chanting, I realized that this is too inconsequential to debate or discuss even within others or within my mind. It is all Krishna's plan. It had to happen. We have to see all this again to learn some things in life. How glorious would be the departure of a devotee. Yesterday, when the night, when they said that he's about to leave the body, and some information came, and the Zoom opened, I think within minutes, within less than 2-3 minutes, all the 20,000 lines were choked. So worldwide, I saw people from many parts of the world chanting and praying. So this is the greatness of being in Krishna consciousness, and this is how we should welcome death. So with the very fond memories of Prabhu, a sincere devotee, Pujari, and you've done so many services to Mayapur and particularly to Narsingh Dev. I think we should chant Hare Krishna and dedicate today's session to him, so that we are guided. And recently also, yes, there was if you go to ISKCON education site, ISKCONeducation.org, there is a very nice interaction with him on the books are the basis also. I'll try to pick it up and also share it in our group tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Ram,
Can I talk to
Yeah,
Hare Krishna? Can I speak for 1 second? Actually, half an hour back, I was watching a Chennai program. There, first Bhaktivana Swami Maharaj, then Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj spoke about Pankajanti Prabhu. And Radha Bhava Prabhu asked a question: why you left the God in temple? Why you are allowing many people? And why they are coming and infecting and all? He asked. Then Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj said, first time when because of the government involvement, it was strict. But once now government also left it, and we are, even though we are telling again and again, people are coming. When Pankajanti Prabhu, when he went to Calcutta, also we told only 1 or 2 people will go, but many people went. So this is with so much emotions, Vaishnavas are behaving that. So whatever we are trying, we are not able to control these people. That's what he was giving the answer, and he said, yeah, management is thinking to take some more stricter measurements. That's what he was telling just half an hour back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
But I feel that my own realization is that we should not ponder too much on why it happened, what went wrong. I think that's too inconsequential now, too late to think. We only hope that management definitely should do something. Hare Krishna.
But Prabhu, definitely we will be missing him during the opening of the TOVP temple.
Yeah, sure, bro. Yes, yeah. That's correct. When Narsingh Dev gets installed there, I think tears will roll from many people around the world. That where is Pankajanti Prabhu? For sure. Maybe 2022, 2023, whatever day, whatever year it may happen, on that day, many tears will come. And in the beginning of the year, when Corona started, and Shivala Prabhu is in one of the classes, he told a very grave statement of His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj. He said that this is the decade of tears for us. Many of us who live through this decade will have to shed so many tears, mainly because quite a significant devotees of Srila Prabhupada would be deciding to leave this material world. So it's a very tough year for us to see one fantastic generation who has established and propagated and evolved and expanded ISKCON. Those great soldiers of Srila Prabhupada will slowly vanish. As we also vanish, we also follow them. But logically speaking, anybody can go anytime, any day. That logic is also there. But I'm talking in an organic and evolutionary manner. So in this decade particularly, we'll see a lot of those things, and we need to be prepared to get those realizations and to be strong and to know what are the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So that's the reason why it's also extremely important why we should focus on the books or the basis, why we should read books. Otherwise, as the disciples of Srila Prabhupada fade away from our lives, Srila Prabhupada also can fade away. Unless we catch the books, essence of that books, then Prabhupada will remain with us. And if Prabhupada will remain with us, then all his disciples and devotees are also with us. So that's very important about this program. It's not that I'm trying to market something about this program. It is my own realization that if we want to keep Prabhupada fresh in our minds, if we don't want Prabhupada to fade away from us, we must understand that books are the basis, And because books are the basis, if we realize it and we practice it, then our preaching becomes better. And that's why we are going through this program. And I really thank all the devotees who are participating in this program. So let's continue. Even after this Ramadan ends, we all will get inspired to read more and more books. And one humble comment that I wanted to make is, sometimes being an elder by age, not by devotion, not by bhakti, not by tapasya, not by austerity, just by sheer being an elder in age, material age, sometimes I do make some comments after the program is done. Please don't take it very seriously if that comment is like a critical thing or an area of improvement. It's just each, as I told in the beginning of the program, that each one teach one. Every one of us is learning. Every one of us can also share, what we can. Guhyam akhyati prachati. So there's nothing wrong in Krishna consciousness when something is told. It's all for our own improvement. So we should take it as a positive sense, but don't get too much hurt or too much concerned if I say that some area of improvement is there. My humble request. Because if I don't tell also, it is not right. Because I know that it's an area of improvement with my experience. So if I don't tell also, it's not correct. Because if somebody, if I tell also, while telling sometimes, I may appear to be harsh, which I try not to, but sometimes it may happen. Please don't think, please take it as a positive thing only. My humble request. Otherwise, we lose the spirit of the game. Spirit is to learn each one, teach one. Yeah. Thanks a lot. It applies to me also. If somebody says, recently when I met Rasikananda Prabhu, he did mention to me that while I'm speaking, I'm overrunning the time. Some months back, I told him that when he was running over time in a particular program, I was pretty tough on him, saying that they have invited us for some program, we should not do that. Same thing he mildly reminded me. It really hit me like a bullet. So saying that telling is one thing, practicing is something. So like that, each one of us should be bold enough to tell that that you are making a mistake. Kindly be careful about it. So there's nothing wrong. Even though I probably would have defended my thing, saying that it's our program, it's end of the program, I can manage 5-10 minutes. But then after I came back home, I realized that somewhere he's coming to me like a guru and telling me that, hey, don't think that you are one of the organizers of the program and you can do whatever you want. Your rules apply to you also. You also should not overshoot the time. So that's a good lesson I learned. So like that, we should take it in a positive sense. It's not that I start disliking Rasikanand Prabhu for telling me like this. I really appreciate for he coming up to me and for having that good friendly relation with me to remind me mildly. Good. That is very nice, Hare Krishna. After that, he did nice thing also. He said he has invited me for dinner on Thursday. That's a different issue. But then it was a nice exchange of area of improvement. So again, Hare Krishna, don't take it in a positive sense, and let's try to improve all of us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Rasikananda here. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Prabhu, what I was telling that day was, even though we are overshooting sometimes, we are hearing that nectarian message from Prabhu. So we don't mind extending the time or waiting. So this is the message I wanted to give. I think Prabhu is taking in a different way. I'm sorry for that.
It's good. It's good. Like it's always good, Prabhu. What I mean to say, to show as an example, is that we should exchange like this in between us. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. That's what I'm trying to. Since I know you, I'm close to you. I do this example, but it's a good thing. It's extremely good that we should open our heart and tell nothing wrong, as long as we have to develop that habit of listening to that thing also, right? It's important. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. We have one question. The question is that in one of the slides, it was shown as hellish planet. So we have been told that in the Bhagavad Gita, that the entire cosmic manifestation is an indirect energy of the Lord. So anything which is pertaining to the Lord cannot be hellish. So how do we understand this contradictory statements. Hare Krishna. Prabhu or Mataji, Jagat Bandhu Prabhu or Bindu Madhavi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you can answer, Prabhu.
No, Mataji.
Prabhu, what I've understood is that it is Krishna's energy, but we are making it hellish. Okay, so it is. Prabhu, can you say the question again, Prabhu? Sorry.
The question says that in the one of the slides, I think it was the last slide or so.
Yeah.
It was
Prabhu.
talking about the hellish planet. And we have been told in the Bhagavad Gita that everything is an energy of the Lord. So anything which is an energy of the Lord cannot be hellish. So how can we understand this contradiction? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it cannot be hellish, that is correct. But as Prabhupada has written in the book that we are making it hellish by doing different activities, sinful activities. So it is Krishna's energy. But because of our ignorance and because of our desire to enjoy the material world, we are making it hellish. This is what my understanding is. Prabhu, if Jagan Prabhu, when you would like to add something.
I think the simple answer is God does not mean that he should do only that is very comfortable and happy to us, right? Just like a government also has got jails, punishment centers, reformatory centers, and government also has got a places for us to relax, enjoy, parks, malls, whatever it is, all the comforts the government gives. So we can't say that why government is creating jails and punishing people. That is wrong, right? So in order to establish an uniformity, fairness has to be there for everybody. If a person is good, he has to be given a fairness to be treated well so that he can enjoy his life. If a person is bad, it also has a fairness principle, fairness, impartial principle, that he should be contained, he should be reformed, he should be taught a lesson so that when he goes through that lessons, he comes back as a normal person. And government's responsibility is also to separate, because separating bad with good people are protected. In order to protect good, bad has to be kept in a place where they have to be given that punishment or a restraint or a constraint for them to enjoy. So God, in all fairness, in order to treat every living entity according to their capacity, in order to maintain balance, does this. So Krishna creates so many things. That doesn't mean all things are used for us to go back to Godhead. There are certain things he creates, we can catch with that and then go back to Godhead. And there are certain things, if you catch without proper understanding, we can go further down. So this is the whole concept. So he gives a free will for us to go up or go down, enjoy or suffer. So it's not God's fault, or God is not angry with us. That's why he created hellish planets. God is kind with those people. In order to reform them, he has created not one hellish planet, different types of hellish planet. I also see today, one minute we have time, but I see Nupur Mataji. I think she's connected from Bangalore. If she's connected, she's there, she can say a few words. Today is the first time I noticed. Maybe she's there for other days also.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
You want to say something, Mataji? A message from Bengaluru? How is Prabhu?
Prabhu, I wanted to share one past means. I met with H.G. Pandit Pankajangli Prabhu in, I think, in 2015 in Zurich Temple. And there when we saw me and my Prabhu, Pankajangli Prabhu, we were like, oh, Pankajangli Prabhu is here. And then we just crossed, he was coming and we were going somewhere in the temple itself. And then we paid Dandavat Pranams. And I was actually very foolishly, I asked one question from Prabhu, because I was also that time very new. So I asked Prabhu, like sometimes it happens that, we take shelter or we take initiation forcefully. Sometimes, some people say, and we also think, yeah, that is right. But maybe inside we are not that much prepared. So Prabhu gave me a very nice answer. He said that even I came to Krishna consciousness because my brother, Jananivas Prabhu, he joined the movement, and he forced me and some other devotees. So I also came by force. It is not that you are coming by force or you are coming, intentionally or by your will, but you are coming and serving Krishna. That is most important. So, yeah, Prabhu, that is what I am thinking since today morning. So that I wanted to share with you people. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thanks once again to Bindu Madhav Mataji and Jagat Bandhu Achyuta Prabhu for their very nice, clear and well coordinated presentation. Let us all chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu, Mataji and their family. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thanks once again to all the devotees for giving your association to this program. So by Krishna's mercy, we will be continuing with another book tomorrow. So let us all meet same time at 5:45. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So with the permission of each and every one of you, so we are concluding the program here now. Hare Krishna.